He's Myles McNamara. He joins us in studio of Comfort Keepers in Home Care. Myles, what's happening?
Same old, Kyle. How you doing, buddy? And
Well,
Tori,
actually,
too. Good morning.
You walked in with some news. Let's start with the news that I had no idea about.
Well, let's get to that, because first of all, maybe people don't know what I do, because it
I
all
know,
segues
but
right into it.
No, but it was shocking what you told me, and now we have to wait. All right, go ahead.
Have to wait.
Myles McNamara, Comfort Keepers in Home Care. Go.
Well, and that's just it. I mean, ready, set, go. A lot of people don't know what they don't know. Home care is a relatively new industry. It's only been around, and it sounds funny to say, a couple decades. But what home care does, a lot of people confuse with home health. A lot of people understand when they get an injury or come home from the hospital and the doctor prescribes home health for an hour or so, they come in, take care of wounds or what have you. Home care is the revolutionary industry that allows our seniors to stay in their own home when a lot of times all they need is that non-medical helping hand. Think about it as adult kids, who we call the sandwich generation. We're kind of, taking care of our own kids and family, but we also have our aging loved ones maybe in the same town. So we're bouncing back and forth from soccer practice to making sure mom ate and took her medicines, then bouncing back to ballet class, and then bouncing over to make sure dad didn't fall. So more often than not, our seniors, just need that helping hand to make sure there's no slip and fall, there's no mismanagement of the medications, that there's dehydration, because seniors want to stay in their own home. And as adult kids, we want our moms
Why
and
wouldn't
dads
you?
to stay in their own home.
Yeah,
right? So,
exactly, yeah.
More often than not, I get a lot of, well, we don't need you yet. Because, again, they still, in their mind, they think that we're nurses. Yeah, we can react. We can come to you when mom's broken a hip or dad's fallen and hit his head. But let's prevent that. Let's be proactive and get in there and make sure that they're taking the medications on time, that we're helping them in and out of the shower. They don't slip and have that head trauma against the tile wall. So a little proactive, that old cliche, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, because we can certainly respond and be there for you 24/7. That gets a little costly, but if we can be a little proactive, get in there, and it really reduces the stress with our adult kids as well, and that guilt of don't know what to do with mom or dad.
Peace of mind, man.
Yeah,
peace of mind.
And so a lot of times home health versus home care, even our doctors, I'm having a hard time after all these years making sure that they've got a clear distinction that home health is what they do. Medicare covers it, insurance covers it, they have to prescribe it. Home care, all you have to do is call Myles at Comfort Keepers and say, we want a helping hand to come in and look over mom, give dad a hand, what have you. Unfortunately, insurance doesn't pay for it. It is out of pocket unless you have long-term care insurance. The Medicare.
Is that something? No, let me interrupt you for a second.
Sure.
Is that something that we should look into seriously at a certain age, long-term health care?
Yeah, kind of in the sweet spot of the baby boomer in your late 40s, early 50s. That's the sweet spot to get a nice premium for a good coverage. But things are starting to change in the Medicare world. They're actually starting to look at home care as that preventative medicine that I mentioned earlier.
Which is smart.
Yeah, and Medicare Advantage plans are putting their toe in the water and actually are starting to pay for some home care. Hopefully in a few years, straight up Medicare will say, you know what, we can prevent that broken hip. We can prevent all these issues.
I mean, it's like, dental insurance. If you have, if you take care of, you clean your teeth every 6 months, you do what you're supposed to do, you're not going to get the cavity, which is so much more expensive, or the root canal. And, it makes sense to have that. But,
don't have donuts for breakfast every morning. You might not get diabetes, so it's a lot of it is common sense. But, our seniors.
Wait, what? No donuts for breakfast? Wait, what?
Did I just throw a monkey wrench into your life? But yeah, so again, home care is really, helping our seniors stay in their own home. We have a lot of amazing assisted living facilities here in Santa Clarita. And sometimes our seniors say, no, I want to go to assisted living.
Sure.
Well, we even go to our local assisted livings here, and we're that extra helping hand to be, because, assisted livings check in with their residents every, hour or so. Maybe someone wants one-on-one, tender loving care for a while. So they'll say, this place is great, but mom wants to go and have someone, her own concierge or personal assistant.
Well, also it's nice to just have someone to come in. What if you're, widower, and you want a little company, maybe to do some errands or to play some cards or watch TV, make a meal.
And another thing we do is very important that a lot of people don't realize is we do what we call hospital sitting. if mom or dad goes into the hospital, we don't, when we leave at night, we're like, oh gosh, we can actually sit at their bedside.
So
now
important.
We can't do the hospital's job, but we can be that other set of eyes and ears to sit there and make sure mom or dad are comfortable, that we can push that button for the assistant if it's needed, that, when the food is brought, we can help them with that. But more often than not, our adult kids are like, yeah, just be at mom's bedside, make sure she's okay and comfortable.
One thing that I encountered, Myles, which is so important, is that when seniors, sometimes when they have medication, they're given medication, they do something called sundowning. And they, not full on hallucinate, but they imagine certain things are going on. Yeah. And it's so nice to have someone there at night, if you can't be there, to kind of guide them through that.
Yeah, and that's caused by, sometimes it's caused by medication, but sometimes they have medication to prevent sundowners, because sundowners starts to happen when our seniors get cognitively impaired and dementia's coming down the pike.
Yep.
So, yeah, but you're right. Just having that extra set of eyes and ears and making sure everything's okay.
Now, before we run out of time, you have to, are we going to venture in? Because this is something I had no idea.
Yeah, I've mentioned this before as far as the importance for our seniors, but on the other end of that aging spectrum that, it looks like it rattled your cage a little bit, is we've always talked about having your legal documents in place and an advanced healthcare directive.
Absolutely.
And a HIPAA release, which is a privacy law that our hospitals and doctors and everybody are really, really governed by. So if you do not have an advanced healthcare directive and a HIPAA release for your parents, you will not be able, if they go into the hospital, talk on their behalf. The doctors are, again, governed by HIPAA. What a lot of people don't realize, which I know got your attention this morning, is when our children become 18 years old and they become legal adults, the mom and dad card loses a lot of value, because now if, God forbid, something happens and our adult child goes into the hospital and can't speak on their own, you can't just walk in and say, I'm the mom or I'm the dad. The first thing the doctors are going to ask is, do you have an advanced health care directive? Are you the agent? Do you have a HIPAA release? Otherwise, we can't talk to you. So that's
what do you do? What do you do in a case like that?
Then what happens, unfortunately, is the care of your child and or of your parents, of whatever end of that aging spectrum you're on, the doctors have to make the best educated decision on their own. Your opinion now becomes less valuable and certainly less controlling. So just make sure we have those legal documents in place. That's called an advanced healthcare director. Name the agents. You can have multiple agents. You don't have to name just one. A lot of times people suggest don't even name a family member. Name somebody that you trust who might make the decisions that you've asked them to make when, the bit hits the shan. And then, as far as our kids, when our kids become adults, do the same thing. Get an advanced healthcare directive. Make sure that you have agents that are designated and HIPAA releases, and that somebody is designated in their stead to speak for them. God forbid, should they not be able to speak for themselves.
Wise words from Myles McNamara of Comfort Keepers. Phone number, website, go.
Offices in both Encino and right here in Santa Clarita, but just go to comfortkeepers.com or call me right here on Lyons Avenue at 661-287-4200, 287-4200.
Myles, always a pleasure.
Likewise.